Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 for some more multiplayer racing. For this one, it is the battle of the Porsche 911s. We were allowed to use any of the 911s that were in the game. They're built to mid S1 class car and all the races are on tarmac. Now I have gone for lightness, or I say lightness, there probably are some other cars quite light along those lines. I've got the Gunther Works Porsche. I've never had a call to use it before. I thought I'd give it a try. I have built the Singer one at some point, and it was a mad death trap, but I liked it. It was a fun mad death trap. So I've gone for another sort of customised Porsche to see how it goes. It's £2,400, just under 500 horsepower with semi-slick tyres. I mean, these cars are pretty rapid. There's been all sorts of different routes taken in terms of cars, which makes things interesting. We've got some modern, we've got some older ones. I saw a GT1 in here. I mean, yeah. I don't know what way it's going to go. I feel like this car is going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be amazing, but I feel like it's not going to be too bad. We will wait and see. I was contemplating building the Sport Classic, but I opted for something different. You know, I'm going to have a lot of grip. I mean, it's going to be a typical Alex build of a lot of grip and not much in the way of straight line speed, but I do tend to prefer this. I tend to, that's a bit of lag going on for the car in front of me. That makes life a little bit sketchy. I think I'm faster than the Jägermeister car. Can I go around the outside of it there? Not quite. I mean, we've got a little bit of understeer going on through there. We're to the outside again, and I think that will put me up a position, and indeed we will move ourselves up into fourth. I will take that. Right, we're going after a Singer in front. Oh, that looks a bit of a handful through the corners. Now, this track, this track is kind of quite it's actually quite high speed. It's not really top end as such. It's not really such a top end circuit, but you need a lot of speed for these medium and high speed corners. And I'm not sure my car's quite perfect for this track. I think we'll be better maybe at the slower, more technical tracks. However, I can see what it does. Essentially, it is a Singer leading from a GT3. I think that's the 4 litre. I don't know. I'm going to get confused because there are many and they all look very similar. I think that's the 4 litre Rari. I can't remember all of my 911s. There's so many. Either way, the Singer has fallen back into second place. So I mean, I built one of those a little while back to this regulation. It's a mid S1 class. I can't remember what it was for now, and it was monstrously fast accelerating, but it was a bit of a handful in the corners. It was not easy to kind of get around these circuits, so I'm suspecting they may struggle in similar ways. I don't know. I think it's on rally tyres actually, from what I saw. So why would you do that, you might ask? I have done it plenty of times in lower classes traditionally. You go on rally tyres to save PI. Now rally tyres give you, even though none of these races are off-road, rally tyres give you a decent amount of grip. They're not going to give you as much grip as semi-slick tyres, but they do still give you quite a lot of grip. You would go on it to get a little bit more power in your car. If you wanted more straight line speed, you could sacrifice some of that grip for some power. Now, it doesn't really seem to be working for the Singer so much through here. I can't catch the RS up at the front. That thing is a little bit too fast. I will admit I'm not the best at this circuit, but I don't think I have an answer for that car in terms of speed. We definitely do have an answer for the Singer. How fast is that in a straight line? Now, that will probably be putting out about 600 horsepower, maybe a little bit less, because my one is just under 500 built to this regulation. That was on semi-slicks. So if that's on rallies, and it could be even built differently, you could even get more in it if you wanted. It's definitely quicker than I am down these straights, but it cannot hold the quarter speed you see through that final turn. I mean, it's close to flat for me, and they're really struggling through turn 1. Can we go around the outside here? It's a gamble because I know that car's going to understeer, so we got a little tag from it. I mean, it was always a risk. So you go around the outside like that, there's always a risk they might drift into you. I kind of accepted that risk. It was only a minor tag, nothing too much. A good cutback, because that's where the Singer's always going to be strong down this hill. It's going to have the straight line speed, but it's not going to be able to take the speed through here. We should be able to get to the inside, get the car stopped and turned, which we do, Be neat through here. Now, we could be vulnerable at the top of the hill. This is the concern, though. We've got a little gap back to it. We're probably going to have to be defensive. We're pulled away from Shadow in the 911 Turbo. All-wheel drive in that, although all-wheel drive less really useful here because, well, we've all got rear engines. You can have, I mean, I'm using launch control because launch control in these rear engine cars means they launch like absolute madness, so it doesn't actually help you quite that much in this field, and we're all on tarmac. It might help you a little bit on some of the really slow stuff, really slow technical corners. The all-wheel drive might give you a little advantage, but I've got 305s on the back and an engine in the back. It makes this pretty damn good on traction. I'm full throttle out of that corner there, not a bit of wheel spin, so all-wheel drive is just not as helpful. It just makes your car heavy, and yeah, there isn't as bigger advantage in this as perhaps in some other races that we would do. I'm liking my car, though. I am actually enjoying this car. I'm pleased with this build so far. I was worried about the semi-slicks. I didn't want to go for the full. I was tempted by the full race slicks. However, we were going to be so slow in a straight line. Oh, Quackula has missed a checkpoint. The Singer was... I'm going to guess I know the one. The tight left-hander, I'm going to guess they tried to cut it just a smidge too much. Really easy to do. We've all done it at some point when racing this circuit. We are going to run up towards the line here. It's going to be a second place. I mean, we had a half-decent final lap. I don't think we're a million miles away from that GT3. I don't think we're that far away. I'm pleased with that, actually. After it blasted past me, I thought it was going to just vanish into the distance, but it didn't. We managed to peg it back. Yeah, we got to within a tenth. I'm happy. I'm very happy with that. The Turbo was about a second back from us, similar to that. Yeah, it is difficult, shall we say. Followed by a GT2 and then another GT3. Oh, was the GT3 RS4? I knew there was a. Is that the RS? It is the RS4 liter, isn't it? I'm going mad. I don't know. I could be wrong. Who knows? But I'm happy with the Gunther Works. That felt pretty damn good, actually. Yeah, I'll take a second place. Good opening race for sure. We are off to the Plaza circuit for our next race. I don't want to be this far back. I feel like my car might be good here. It's light. It seems to have a lot of grip, and this is not where I wanted to be. Well, there's going to be some overtaking for us if we're going to move forward. I think it's probably going to be Silver's car going to be the one to watch. Shadows could be fast here as well. That all-wheel drive may help it out of the twisty section, although the turbo is going to be heavy. I think it's about £1,000 heavier than my car from sort of pre-race discussions, and it is a little better off the line. It's not a huge amount, but it is a little better off the line. We will see if the super light, I say super light, it's not super light, but if the relatively light Gunther Works car here can come good. This will probably be one of the tracks that it prefers. We won't have the issue of a lack of straight line speed. Oh, and Silver ended up in the wall. I desperately was trying to make the most of that opportunity, and we just got a little bit sideways. Oh, it's all getting a bit busy down here. The GT1 caused a little bit of chaos when it made a mistake. I'm going to be brave. To the inside we go. We lean on the GT1 ever so slightly. I'd need to pass that GT1 if we're going to stand a chance. Oh, I don't know whether it got a bump or whether it was just a little bit of lag because it suddenly got fired forward. Can we outrun it down here? Not quite. Oh, there it is. Oh, I didn't know where it was going to go. Bloody speed beast lagging. Because it looked like it was slowing down enough, so I kind of committed, and then it just jittered itself forward. God damn it! We really needed to clear that car this lap. The frustrating thing is we have a better car here. The GT1, as much as I love it, the reason I didn't end up building one is because you only have about 10 PI to play with, if that. You just do not have the PI to work. Now, it might work, at a faster track. Oh, and then we hit the curb. I was trying to set up for a good run down to toe. This race has gone bad. I'm very, very frustrated in that one. This race has gone very, very poorly. We are still on the inside. I don't think they realised we were still alongside there when we were slowing down to turn one. So we actually got the same car. It's based on the same gen car, me and Neo here. The Gunther Works is based on that 95 Porsche. Ooh, come on. We've got more traction than that. I will say thank you very much, and we will jump forward. Right, we have got to... I mean, we're not winning anymore, sadly. I mean, all we can do is aim for a fastest lap. The curb... Well, the fact that we couldn't get past the GT1 on the first lap basically sealed our fate, unfortunately. I mean, you can see how much more speed that we can take through there, although even that was a little too much for my car. Just wants to slide around a bit there. Can we send it at the top of the hill here? Possibly. I think fourth is good, unless there is contact, or unless the battle really slows the cars down in front of us, or in front of Speed Beast. I think fourth is the best that we can do. Yeah, we will make our way past, and that will put us up into fourth. But can we? So, unfortunately, it's going to be a really interesting battle at the front, because the Singers had a clean start, had a clean getaway, and is probably the least suited car of the top four to this track. So we've got some, in theory, fast cars catching towards it, but I think, well, I'm definitely running out of laps. Silver, I think, will have enough time to do it. That bump is the biggest problem, actually, for my car, is the bump on the exit there. It really is not enjoying that section. Can we catch Shadow is really the question. Can we catch the turbo? I know Shadow loves this track. But is the turbo not well suited enough to this one? We will have to wait and see. I mean, I think we have some pace in this car. Again, it feels great to drive. Outside of that bump feels horrible. That is the bit that I really don't like. We will head through this next section. We're definitely closing on Shadow. The fact that we can see the turbo all the way through here. We've only got one more lap, though. It's going to have to be an absolutely barnstorming final lap, which we will give it a go. We will give it everything we've got with this car. I've got nothing to really lose. It's not, even if we miss a checkpoint, we're not exactly even in a podium position. So, and we are. It's the GT2 behind us, I think, that we would lose out to. But yeah, we're just going to go for it and see what happens. Shadow ran a little bit wide there and took one of the power poles with them. It looks like there's going to be a battle at the front between the Singer and the GT3. Oh, turn one, not too shabby. This is the bit that I just don't like. The car doesn't like. It's fine. Okay, we got a little bounced around, but nothing terrible. We are on a mission to reel in Shadow. Don't get sideways. Lovely stuff. It was the littlest. There was a littlest. It wanted to slightly break traction, but it didn't. And I like that. Then this does suit my driving style, this kind of car. It's a touch understeery. It understeers slightly before it oversteers, and that's how I like my cars to be. It's just the way, if you've watched my videos for a while, you will know, I know it's a bit weird, but I prefer my cars that way. I feel much more confident pushing them when they are like that, and this car is perfect for it. It has great traction. It means I can stamp on the throttle out of these corners and know that the thing is going to stick to the road, which is what I want anyway. I'd rather that than have the back end of the car dancing around. You can see Shadow struggling with understeer. I mean, we've absolutely reeled in on the back of that turbo, but we just lost too much time early on, which is unfortunate because it's a hell of a car, this one. I very much enjoyed driving this here. Been a hell of a time trial at the end. Don't know if we're going to quite beat Silver's lap time. Possibly, we will see as we come up across the line. That's a monstrous car there. Great fun. Great fun to drive around there. But a poor start. A little error on the curb was a problem as well, which didn't help. Yeah, we were flying. Again, incredibly similar between me and Silver. This time, it goes my way by a 10th. So it's 1-1 in terms of fastest laps, but 2 victories for Silver and none for us. Couldn't quite get on the podium, although we were monstering at the end of that. Just ran out of time. That car is awesome. I like it. I like my car a lot. Because you've just done without starting. We're right at the back and getting stuck behind the GT1. But there we go. That's racing sometimes. On to the next one. We are off to the festival circuit for our next race. This is the one where you put me on pole, where my car's probably at its weaker. The Singers I'm a bit scared of. They're going to be monsters down the straights. I don't know if anything else has got running a lot of power here. I think a couple of cars are on the rally tyres, and I believe they'll be running a good amount of power. So there's going to be some fast machines here. This track is better suited to those with more top speed. However, you can have all the top speed in the world, but there are still some more technical sections. It's not the most crazy power circuit in the world, so we will see how it kind of pans out it is typical. We always get the good grid spots on the tracks that aren't really what my car wants. The Singers are going to launch themselves off the line. I know how fast starting they are. They are very quick cars. So, yeah, that is to be expected. The question is, will our superior grip be enough for us to outdo their immense straight line speed? Or I say immense. We know it's quicker. I don't know how much quicker, but it definitely is quicker than we are. So we're not likely to challenge it down here. Not likely to challenge it. Oh, maybe we could have done, actually. Maybe it should have done, even. Through there. I wasn't expecting to close enough under braking, but we definitely do. That's a thing. Whoa! I'm very sorry. Did not expect. Gee, that thing is so bad. I'm incredibly sorry. I was not even going for an overtake there. That was I was just braking where I wanted to brake, and that thing has got to brake so much earlier than we do. We can fire that in from a really weird angle as well. The problem is we're just going to get outrun down here now. We're going to make it go the long way round. I'm okay with that because it won't want to do that. We will be close to flat through the final corner on a normal lap, I should think, and that is definitely not. Okay, we are clear. We are in the lead of this one. Can we? And where is Silver? That is the question. Oh, that's a long way back still. Silver's stuck in traffic. He's not had a great start to this. That is good news for me, and in fact, if the Singer can battle the Turbo, I would also not be disappointed. So we know it's struggling under brakes. It's struggling to get turned down here, which works for me because we are not. Jesus, the gap we can just pull off of that section alone is quite helpful. Right, we can brake very late into the hairpin and, again, get on the power nice and early. I think, well, what's helping me now is Quackula is busy defending from Shadow, and the more they fight like that, the worse it gets for both of them. We can just run in the clean air. God, this car is nice. I'm really liking this car. It is just grippy and predictable and fast. All the things that I want. I didn't quite brave flat. I think that can be flat through there, you know. Oh, Shadow's in the wall. Because Shadow's car is, of course, much heavier. I don't know what tyres it's on. I think it might be semi-slicks. But yeah, it's, you know, considerably heavy. It just cannot match the grip that we do, and we are running away from this one. It's again the battle of the fastest laps, I suspect, between me and Silver here, which will be an interesting one to see. Get off the bridge nicely. That's a little sneak. Well, it was a little too brave on the throttle for me there. We will brake up to the hairpin now. Just don't do anything stupid at this point. Keep going as fast as you can. No silly errors, no missing checkpoints, no missing braking points if you can help it, because, you know, you don't want to be losing time unnecessarily, although you still got to... Can't really relax. The cars we're against are still quick, so you've still got to be... Can we be flat through there? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It's got so much grip. That final corner, we make up a good portion of lap time. I reckon that final corner, the time we lose on the straights is made up on just that final corner to the Singer. Maybe turn one as well. Actually, no, I say that. The final corner we are definitely very strong on compared to that Singer. We're also quite good off the bridge. Yeah, definitely is working here. That's much better. God. I mean, sometimes, you know, I'm just happy with the cars that I end up building. Sometimes I'm very unhappy with the cars, and it's nice, you know, when it works out. Even when we were running in fourth, I liked driving this car. It's just, I'm surprised, actually, here. The GT3 is on the march and will soon be up to second. I mean, it may well be going a bit quicker than we are. I'm not actually sure I'm driving this amazingly well. And I've got no traffic in front of me. I just feel like I'm driving it a bit sloppy around here. That's always a bit of a gamble going over. It's the bumps. The car does not like the bumps. That is something that is the only real criticism I have. And for a tarmac race car, there's only a couple of places where that's really a problem. And to be fair, on the final corner, we are basically cutting it as close as we can through that part, is why we're getting it into trouble. I should be a little careful. But yeah, like the Plaza circuit, the bump is the only bit that's a real problem for it. So, I mean, Silver's had the race a bit like I did last time in the whole claw your way through the field. Has done a good job to get up to second. By the looks of it, is faster than me, judging just by the gap. However, is going to run out of time to do anything about my vehicle. I'm perhaps not so surprised. I think my car is better handling than that GT3, and I think that is perhaps a little faster than me in a straight line. Oh dear. That was pushing it a little bit far, and then they slid out of that corner as well. We will head up to the final corner. No need to be silly through there. And we will cross the line. There's more speed in that car than that. I wasn't driving it very well, if I'm being honest. It's good enough, though. Sometimes that's just what you've got to do. What are the lap times? It is, yeah, 102.0. I think there was definitely a low 102 in that. I didn't drive it well enough, really, for that one. But we built the gap early on, so I could afford to. I could get away with that. Yeah, there's more speed in that car. Did not get a great lap out of it, but I will take a victory. We do claim our first victory with the works. It is that GT3 in second. The Singer held on to third. Its superior straight line speed was enough to fend off the Turbo. Fantastic. Well, we have got our victory. I'm happy at least as we move on to the next race. We head to the Lookout Circuit for our next race. Oh, we're a long way back. it's either... Oh, it is either perfect or we don't get kind of like fourth or fifth. No, it's either front or back. Okay, could be a little bit worse. Okay, Silver's is kind of the car in front of us. The Singers are in front. I mean, we should be quite good here. I think in the lower classes, you can sometimes get away with a bit of power cars around here. I think with these, you're going to struggle. The real power cars are going to struggle. The never-ending sort of turn 2, 3, 4, that section is going to be quite good for me and the GT3. The end is going to be quite good for me and the GT3, and I don't know, the straight is not going to be enough for some... basically, the car's not on semi-slicks. I'm not going to be able to carry enough speed through a lot of this. Silver's already all the way up into second. We're trying to make the most of ghost modes to sneak our way up into fifth, which we have done quite nicely here. We will send it to the inside. I think that yellow car is not going to be able to cover us. They cannot. Okay, we're up to third. Perfect start, really, for I mean, well, I say that. Semi-perfect start. If we could have somehow beaten the GT3, that would have been the perfect start. We couldn't, but honestly, this is the next best thing. Right. We know the Singer's going to lead down the straight. We know that's quicker than both of us. Tell you what, it's not that much quicker than the GT3. Jesus, that thing is fast down these straights. Okay. We cannot beat that in a straight line, although they've managed to bump into one another. We will be sneaky and steal our way up into second. Problem we're going to have is we may end up now losing out. Nah, I think the Singer's too far back to do anything, and it definitely won't want to dive bomb us into this next corner. But this is where... So if that GT3 is that fast down the straight, we should be better than it in the corners. Oh, my dog has the sleep squeaks. I wonder what he is dreaming of. I don't know if you can hear that on the microphone. It's quite loud today. Sometimes they are quieter than that. We are good through that final section. Oh, and the GT3 hit the wall. Where can we put it under pressure? The problem is we're going to be fast into this first section here. When we finally do get to have a race against Silver, Silver's brushed the wall again, but it's not really an overtaking spot through here. The overtaking is going to come. That GT3 is really struggling with understeer. We don't have that problem. Can we dive bomb it? Can we be close enough to dive bomb it into the super twisty section here? Not quite. Yeah, it's good enough under brakes that I cannot do that there. We can close and we can close. We might be able to dive bomb it here. If we're going to do it, it's going to have to happen here. Can't. Silver covers well enough through that section, and then I'm a little thrown off. Just not quite. I've got more grip than it, but it's not by enough. It's not by enough to quite challenge, and then we lose all the time here. So we fall back all the way here. Silver's running fast through this first section, but is going to be much better this time around. Is clear. Yeah, he's going to, I think, just be fast enough. Doesn't quite enjoy that section. Yeah, we could. I mean, if we could have fired it up the inside, I would have done. I don't think I quite have the answer to that. yeah, we need a little bit more, well, we need a little bit more grip or a little bit more straight line speed, because ultimately we are better in the corners, but it's not by enough to make up for that straight line speed. We're definitely, I think we're easier to drive than the GT3. We've seen it have a couple of little issues. Again, it's one of those, we're within like a tenth or so of it, tenth or two, but it's tenth or two the wrong way for me. We're gonna need it to have a big brush on the wall. That will help my case. However, it's still just fast enough, even with what was a sizable clonk actually. Got away without it being the worst thing in the world as we run up the hill for the final time. Yeah, not quite fast enough for me, unfortunately. Oh, Silver is a bit wide through there, but we're not fast enough in the right places to really be able to put a frightener on it. I mean, we've definitely made them work. And we have finally got to... That would explain, actually, why that car was much better, or why it was gaining at the festival circuit as quick as it was. It is more of a power car. I will also admit I didn't drive amazingly there. That was a better race. I gave it everything, but we just did not have an answer. Did not have an answer for that car. We were close. I mean, we're the only one that got close. Jesus Christ. We are in a bit of a different league at the front, really. It was the 2/10. 2/10 separate me and the GT3, and then quite a lot more, over a second, separates us to the rest of the field. We chased it, but yeah. If I could have got, actually, even if I got ahead, it wouldn't have mattered. It would just outrun us. It would have outrun us down a straight. I couldn't even defend really from that. But yeah, Shadow got the only other car sub 50. Oh, yeah, could not quite match it down the straights. But an entertaining race, that's for sure. For our final race, we head to the Estadio circuit. I love this track. I feel like my car should be quite strong here. I'm not sure. Where is it? Oh, it's only 5th. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to beat the GT3 here. This track is a wonderful balance of things. There are some tight, twisty sections. There are some fast-flowing sections. There's a couple of longer straights. And I fear, even if my car was slightly faster than the G, it's been close, right? All of these tracks, it's been within half a second, pretty much, between me and that car. Even the track's really not suited to me, so I expect it to be close, but even if we assume that and I somehow stayed ahead of it, which I won't, we'd so struggle to pass it because it would just outrun us down a straight and then slow us down in the corners, and I have not been brave enough through here. How we're going to beat it is... If it struggles with these high-speed corners, that could really help me. If we are very good through the chicane and it is very understeery, that could really help me. I don't think the Singer's going to have enough. I don't think any of the Singers are going to have enough grip for this circuit particularly. We are going to be brave through there. Yeah, we've carried a lot of speed. So the GT3 wasn't very happy through that section. We expected that. Oh. I mean, we might be able to just punch underneath it here. But we couldn't quite do it. And then it just goes. And then that may be the only chance we realistically had of passing it. And even if we had passed it there, that's the problem. Is that you could see the gap that it is just going to pull is immense down there. And yeah, we just cannot live with that. Although, that being said, you see how much it then struggles through this next section. We can close, although I am now overdriving, desperate to try and catch up. So the best bet I'm going to have is a mistake, I think. As expected, it is mighty quick down these straights, and we are just not that fast. Tell you what, my car is excellent through that back chicane. I'm being as brave as I dare through here, but the last thing I want to do is miss a checkpoint at this point, because while we are clear of third for the moment, we're not that clear of third. Yeah, we cannot match that. The straight line speed is just too great. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on the Singer. It does seem to be faring a little bit better around here than I was expecting. Perhaps these long straights are making up enough lap time for it. It was closer at the festival circuit, to be fair. Right, we will dive into kind of turn one. Don't know whether you count the kinks on the straight really as corners. Can we be flat through there? Yes, I think we should be able to, although I've not really got it very well set up. Yeah, that GT3 is just vanishing into the distance a little bit here, which is, I mean, it's a shame. It was perhaps expected. It is good enough in the corners, and we are not quite. That is so much speed through there. that was full bravery. We pull the gap on the Singer, but again, we can reel it in down here. But every lap, it's probably going to be what I'm going to guess 3/10 a lap in favour of the GT3. If we both have good clean laps, it's enough for it to just edge away. And there's nothing. It's one of those incredibly frustrating, and it happens plenty of times in racing where the car, it just edges away further and further, and without a. I mean, even if we'd found a way past, this is what I say. The problem is, even if we found a way past, we'd never be able to defend from it, because all it have to do is just stay a little bit close and then breeze past down a straight. We could give it a problem if we were in front, but it's just never going to be enough. Essentially, we are heading up now towards the chicane once more. I mean, it is amazingly grippy through there. My car, it really is just a tap on the brakes. That's alarmingly close to flat through there. And outside of, weird, super grippy built like C-class cars, I don't think I've ever had a vehicle as close to being flat through that chicane as this. Little bit scruffy at the end of the lap. I'm trying. It's one of those, I want to push as hard as I can to catch the car ahead, but doing so is so easy to overdrive the vehicle, and the last thing I want to do is end up missing a checkpoint at this point in the race and losing a second place. Because the race is gone. I just do not have an answer for the car ahead. I have a feeling the Singer may have missed a checkpoint, as it has dropped back. Either that or it is now starting to struggle, I don't know. The GT2 is actually more competitive here. We haven't seen that up on the podium, I don't think, before. That is so alarmingly fast through there. It's really cool. Of all the cars I've built, though, that is one of the grippiest things I have driven, chucking it through there. As I said, I really like this car. This is an absolutely wonderful car, and it has been the only thing that could give a scare to that GT3. Some tracks more so than others. This one, not quite in the Gunther Works' favour, but it is one hell of a machine, and honestly there was nothing else that could really match the pair of us. It would have been nice. Sadly the races, well, we were close at the lookout circuit, we had a good little battle. No, it was way superior there. That was mighty impressive around that. I like that track, and there's no way I can get, I mean, with a lot of laps you could maybe get a 57.0. I could anyway. I got no answer for that GT3 there. That was monstrous there. Some of the more twisty stuff would have loved to have raced it at the Plaza circuit. Would have been interesting at the first track as well. We actually kind of figured out a way to get some speed there. Unfortunately, yeah, well, look how we put up a good fight. But yeah, this has been really interesting with the selection of 911s. A lot of them were quite close. And then there was me and the GT3 that were sort of in our own separate little class. Very different. That GT3 is on rally tyres. We were on semi-slicks. It was a bit of a power versus... It was an interesting power versus handling build. I mean, it said the biggest... That final track was by far the biggest of gaps that we had there. But there we go. That is going to be it for this... For this video. If you would like to sign up to take part in the next one of these, you can via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the Versus Community sign up section and you can register to take part in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Until next time, goodbye.